You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
Welcome to the program. Thanks for joining us. Lieutenant Governor Leslie Rutledge is serving her first term in that position after 2 terms as Arkansas Attorney General. We welcome her to the program. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Roby. Always a pleasure to be on with you.
We were on the stage together about a week ago at the Arkansas Governor's Quality Awards. You did a great job speaking to the crowd there.
It's fun to recognize great businesses in Arkansas. We have so many, it's hard to narrow it down, but it was fun to be there with that group.
Yeah, it was good. That was a good event. It was a good day. I thought that it was a really well-rounded group. And I thought your message was really, really strong to that group about the importance of doing your best and being high quality.
That's right. Like that. That's what Arkansas is all about, doing our best and high quality.
All right, let's assess the situation. You have been making the rounds. I was not your first stop, but I'm your third stop, I think, on your national speaking tour here about your family farms soybeans. You and your husband farm soybeans. We have a crisis in terms of commodity prices, input costs, the fact that we've lost markets over the last several years. Kind of give me your assessment of where the situation is today and the move that President Trump made to ban some imports from China.
Well, thank you, Roby. And it's no surprise to Americans that our farmers are hurting. Now, this is in the news almost daily, and President Trump is working for solutions. And, you know, we're lucky to have Senator John Bozeman chairing the Agri Committee. We're lucky to have Secretary Brooke Rollins, but our farmers need help, and we need to open up new markets. And President Trump pushing back against China because China said that they're not going to buy our soybeans. Well, he's right. That is an economically hostile act. Soybeans are one of our major crops in Arkansas. We're big producers nationwide of our soybeans. And so what President Trump did was say, hey, we may put a halt on buying your used cooking oil. Is it 100% tit for tat? Absolutely not. But what it does is it offers him the ability to negotiate that trade. And so we're proud of President Trump for stepping up on that. And I'll explain used cooking oil in a minute.
Well, go ahead and explain it now so people will know what used cooking oil is versus, I guess, just cooking oil. I mean, is there new and used?
Well, I think it's important distinction because when people hear used cooking oil, they may think about their old, dropping, in the grease, that the granny had and making, chicken nuggets at home. Well, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about palm oil from Indonesia, other things that China imports, and then we are buying used cooking oil from them. America went from being a used cooking oil exporter in 2022. We were exporting 400 million metric tons of used cooking oil. Now we're importing 1.2 billion metric tons of used cooking oil, 58% of which is coming from China. And so this has been a major shift. It happened during the Biden administration where we went from exporting to importing. And we're using that used cooking oil to offset in our diesel products. And that's something that we could be doing with our own soybeans. And so that's why we're wanting to open up these biodiesel markets. We've got a biodiesel plant in my hometown of Batesville. It's Future Fuels. It's the 12th largest biodiesel plant in the country. And we just need to be doing more of that because that will give us a steady market for soybean farmers. It will also make us more energy independent. And we want to sell our soybeans to China. Don't get me wrong, Roby. We want to sell our soybeans to China. However, the Arkansas and the American farmers should not be held hostage to China year by year saying, well, we're not going to buy your product.
Right. Let's put politics just to the sideline for just a second here and talk about business solutions for this. What can be done in terms of developing, do we need to develop more soybean crushing plants here? The fuel plants that you talked about in Batesville, which is Future Fuels, I think, do we need more of that? Do they need to expand capacity? What do you see as a business solution for this problem?
Indeed, and that's America is going to have to invest more in the infrastructure and the crushing plants to be able to take those soybeans to turn it into soy oil. My Arkansas accent, that's difficult, and so I may not use that in a national interview. They won't know what I'm saying.
That's all right.
But
I can keep up with you. I know what oil is.
Okay, good.
OHL.
That's right. It's a 2-syllable word in my house. In order to have those crushing plants, we're going to have to make the investments and then to expand biodiesel. This is economically more efficient for Americans. It's in energy independence and as well as environmentally friendly. Soy-based biodiesel is, it cuts down the greenhouse emissions by 76% versus just plain petroleum. And this will be a blend, and we're going to have tax incentives to continue those blends. We did it with ethanol and corn. We rescued our corn farmers, but we also made it more economically, environmentally friendly, as well as energy independent by using ethanol to blend.
Policy decisions aside, because Congress is not meeting right now, so I mean we are in this federal government shutdown, which is a whole different conversation here. But and I just throw this out as an idea. I mean, can you use your bully pulpit of the Lieutenant Governor's office and the fact that you are a soybean farmer yourself? I mean, can you initiate some conversations? Have you started, like, I don't know, have you contacted Future Fuels? Have you contacted the American or Arkansas Soybean Association groups? Is there something that you could help convene, I guess?
Well, we will certainly look at that. I have taken these ideas and shared numbers and data and research with USDA and shared it with Secretary Rollins and others to make sure that our government had up-to-speed data that they already have, but we put it together so that way we can have a solution. Now, when we talk about China not buying our soybeans, this is something that China's been working on for 15 years. They have been putting in billions of dollars in infrastructure in Brazil and South America to have bridges, to have roads, to be able to eliminate the need to buy American soybeans.
Right.
And so this isn't something that happened overnight.
Yeah,
This didn't
we've seen this coming through multiple administrations.
That's right.
Yeah,
And so this didn't begin with President Trump's tariffs and trying to defend American markets. This started many years ago. And what this does, this infrastructure, it gives us a stable market. It gives our soybean farmers a chance to continue farming. We're, I believe, the 5th or 10th rather largest soybean producing state in America. But you've got states, Minnesota, South Dakota, Indiana, all these states, Iowa, are producing soybeans, and their farmers need a break also.
I'm going to throw this out as an idea. So why don't you pull a conference together with all of the stakeholders that need to make some of this investment happen? I will offer to MC the event, and we'll see if we can get some conversations started on that.
Well, I love it. You know, let's get, you know, I know that our friends at Future Fuels would love to have the capacity to have the investment. You know, one of the things that they were challenged with early on was some of the tax credits and incentives that had been available and were not pushed through yet. And so we have to, on the government side, we've got to do our part, but on the investment side, we need people to see that, again, this not only, there's an economic advantage to them, but there's an energy independence and protecting America, but there's also an environmentally friendly. So I think it should bring all sides of the geopolitical spectrum together to say, let's do this for America.
I agree with you. You know, I bought a little newspaper over in England, Arkansas. You may or may not have heard, a little weekly newspaper over there. I will offer England, which is one of the soybean capitals of Arkansas. I'll offer that town as a place to have this forum. Let's do it.
Well, let's do it. Let's get through harvest. Let's get those beans out of the ground, and let's look at doing this.
Harvesting a lot of cotton right now, so is what
Well,
what I see rolling up.
Well, we started combining beans this week, my husband and I did, and so we're hopeful that we're going to have a great crop, but the weather, the commodity prices, and the cost have not been our friends, but we're going to turn it around. So farmers are resilient.
Tie it into duck season too. All right, Lieutenant Governor Leslie
Thank you so much,
Rutledge, thanks
Roby.
for being here.
You bet.
Appreciate you. All right, we're back with more right after this.